welcome to Fat Girl Fitness, or the Fat Girl Friday Show. Sorry, we're filming it a day early. And today we are going to be talking about getting from that breakdown where you just think everything in your life, you're having that like fuck my life moment, to the breakthrough where all the transformation happens, all the hard work, all the grief and everything that you've been through is actually transforming into something and manifesting into whatever you want. I am Lauren Clayton. I have a master's in psychology and nutrition. I'm an integrative health practitioner and yoga teacher.
And I'm Steph. I am a certified health coach, personal trainer, and a mindset and emotional breakthrough expert. And I'm so excited to talk about this. The amount of personal development work that Lauren and I do, like this is a thing. Like this is a thing. This comes up for us, and it's something that I'm sure has come up in your life, or maybe comes up for you a lot too if you're also doing a lot of personal development. So a very, very important topic here today.
And together we are Fat Girl Fitness.
Oh, yes, of course. Thanks, Lauren.
The FATT and Fat Girl Fitness stands for psychology, health, attitude training, and what we're talking about today, transformation, big thing. So there's basically three kind of distinct phases that I see in this, and the first phase is where most of us are living at some point, which is like this complacency, like comfort zone stage, where it's kind of like you wake up every day, it's like, gosh, I wish I was, X amount of weight different, or I wish I had more money in my bank account, I wish I had that partner, whatever it is, and it's just kind of like, but you do the same shit every day, you're not working towards it. Yet it's like this little, like, thing in the back of your throat, or you know what I mean, just like this little thing that's around, but you don't really do anything about it. And then the second phase is where it just really starts to get aggravating, like you're kind of getting sick of yourself, and it's like, I am so sick of waking up and not fitting into these things, or just wanting to be this weight, or I want this amount of money and I don't have it, or whatever it is, and you're just getting really, 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 really frustrated with yourself. Have you had that experience, like Steph, being in that phase where it's like,
oh my gosh, so much. I've had that so many times, which is what I attribute to having a lot of success in my life. But I can even say that just this week I had a moment like that. I had one of those breakdown to breakthrough moments where I got so sick of where I was at, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then that's the skyrocketing point. What about you?
And that's, for sure, about everything, because especially, we're always making our goals. Mm-hmm. And if I have a goal that it's like, okay, really, Felicia, I'm talking about myself now, Felicia. This Felicia. And I'm like, it's been a month, like what is going on? And there's always like, that's why we're mindset based, is because there is a psychology piece, a mindset piece that needs to be dealt with, that is like stymieing or blocking you from your goals. So, and then just getting to that point. Now, what we always want, what we do for ourselves and for other people, is to have that breakdown to break through. Now, what happens in this like phase 2 of things sometimes is it goes one or two ways. You get stuck in that phase and you either project and you complain like why you can't achieve something on someone else. It's the government. It's this. It's like, everyone, these bitches out here, whatever, like when people about being single or whatever it is. I can't I don't have time to work. It's someone else's fault.
So hard.
Yeah. You stay in like victim mode basically, or you block it. So you start you do something like you watch TV to numb out, or you drink to numb out, or you do something to numb out. You take drugs or whatever. So you just you can't be in like your greatness because you're just numbing out. The third option, which is the best option,
social media. I'm throwing that in there too.
Oh, social media.
That's the way people know.
Oh my God, total addiction.
And
yes,
by people, sometimes me.
Yeah,
I can say I'm guilty of that every once in a while.
I've had points in my life where exercise has been that for me. I will just chill at the gym, and just because I, you know what I mean, to just like not deal with other things because I'm stressed or don't want to like deal with something in my life. So it could come in any form. It really can.
Yeah.
And then if you're not doing any of those two things, also, so you're having this like breakdown where the problem becomes more and more obvious, and you're like, I cannot live like this anymore. I want to be here and I'm over here, and you're just like, you break down and you get upset about it and you try to change it and you keep looking for answers and you keep going within and you keep looking and you keep searching until finally, and it happens, it's almost like this moment of surrender where you're just like, fuck, you know what, you almost kind of like give up in a way, and then everything kind of like falls into place. So there's that piece to it, but it's also like, and there's a lot of quotes about this. It's like, whatever you do, just keep doing it. So maybe the results don't show up in a day or a week or a month, but every time, if you chip away at something every single day and putting your energy, whatever you put your energy into grows and manifests. So if you're worried about that something, that'll grow. But if you put your energy into what you want, it will continue to grow. And you have to be patient and also have this like very intense belief in yourself that this is here and it's coming and all those things.
Yes. And when this happens, especially, I'm speaking from my own experience, like I get to that point where I just think it's not happening. It can't happen. It won't happen. And that's the trick that my mind plays on me. And I love this analogy that only, I think even if you're not into health, you could still get this analogy. So, there's this thing that sometimes people get called candida. And candida is an overgrowth of bacteria, yeast within the body. And a lot of people actually have it because of eating so many processed foods. But back in the day, I had a really bad candida problem, and they told me to go on a candida cleanse. So I decided to go on this cleanse and, knock this out. And I only ate certain things because candida feeds on sugar, gluten, dairy, alcohol. So you're basically
like everything that's good.
You're cutting like everything out of your diet, and you can't have it because that's what it eats to live. So this bacteria, what you're doing is you're starving it off. And as you start to eliminate all these things, the sugar, the dairy, the alcohol, you get these insanely intense cravings for that stuff. And that's because this bacteria is trying not to die. It's like the only thing I can do to live is have sugar, dairy, gluten. So I'm telling your body, I need that sugar and I need it right now. And it's the most important thing in the world. So you get these crazy cravings. And if you were to give into that craving, then you would end up still having candida, and you'd have all the symptoms of it, which are not that fun. And if you do keep up with the candida cleanse in the diet, and you say, no, I'm not going to have that stuff, I'm just going to fight through it, and you fight through it, then it dies and it's gone, and then you've moved on, you're healthier, you're happier, you feel so alive, and it's all worth it in the end. So I like to take that analogy and I like to apply it to what happens when we go through a breakdown. Because as you're breaking down, that's your old self, that piece of you that's no longer what you want for your future, dying. And it's going to try everything it can to survive and not die. So it's going to give you, instead of crazy cravings, it's going to give you this feeling like it's just not going to happen, and there's no way, and there's no chance. And for most people go through their lives and they believe that voice, and they just let the candida live, and they'll go through their entire lives.
Old self live, right?
The old self, yeah. In terms of the emotional experience you're going through, your old self continues to live on. And most people go through their entire lives always having that old piece of them and never stepping into the future self that they want to be. So the key here is really to take that second when it just wants to keep living and know that old self wants to live and you don't want it to live anymore, so you got to prove it untrue. You got to get that out of there and say, no, that's not the truth. No, I'm not always going to be like this. No, this is not me. No, this is not who I am. I am this, and this is possible for me, and this can happen. And then you move forward, because the only thing that's going to keep you there is if you keep believing that you can't have it.
Absolutely. And it's good to personify it. There's an amazing book that we've talked about before called Letting Go. And he talks about like your small self or your comfort zone or what you know as your small self. And then your greatness is where you need to be. And so like whatever your dreams and your hopes and your desires or your ultimate, what's called your ideal self in psychology, that's in your head because that's where that's your evolution, right? And so we're here to evolve. So just knowing that your small self doesn't know any better. It's just this it only knows, it's just trying to survive. It's that survival part of your brain that is only trying to survive, not thrive. And we're trying to thrive. We're trying to just be abundant and have everything that we want. Abundant health, wealth, and relationships. Just optimize all those areas of your life. And that cannot happen when you're in your small self. That like Candida analogy that she was talking about, the small self, it cannot happen. It'll just fight to just keep everything super mediocre. So you have to just be like, no, bitch. You have to be, you know what I mean? You just have to personify it and say, this is no longer a part of me or who I am. If it's like your weight you're struggling with, you're like, I am no longer this fat person or whatever you want to. I am no longer this person. I am now this person. And start to identify what that. And also there's so much power in your thoughts and starting to identify, like say you're creating a new business. Okay, I'm not this anymore. Now I am this whatever entrepreneur and I'm doing this, and really start to identify, I am now this woman that weighs X amount of weight. Even if you're not there yet, just say, I am this and I weigh this amount of weight. And your brain, when you tell, like, you know, especially over and over again, like you do a mantra around it, your body will respond to it. You'll attract the things in your life that gets you what you want, if it's like a money or career thing. So just really starting to emanate and vibrate that way.
Yeah, I'm breaking through new blocks now, but if you know my story of the last 5 years for me, 5 years ago, I used to be 30 pounds heavier, and I used to identify with that. And I had a point where I got so frustrated, the point Lauren's talking about, where I said, you know what? I give up. I guess I'm just supposed to be overweight the rest of my life. And I was like pretty convinced of that because it was just not happening for me. And if I had stayed in that place, then I would still be there now. But now I get to wake up and I love my body. I love how I feel. I love looking in the mirror. I love getting dressed in the morning. And I love going to bed at night because I lay my head on the pillow and I say, yeah, I'm healthy. I am my best self right now. And that just took me breaking through the mindset, the beliefs. Guys, this applies to everything. It really is. Like, if you can do it in one thing, you can do it in another. And some of us are better in one thing than others, but you get to grow and evolve and become really good at the other ones too.
Absolutely. And it's like this tricky little finite area where, you know, you have the breakdown and you're like, fuck it, I give up. Because when you put so much pressure and so much energy on something, sometimes it can't grow. Like if you're like so scared and obsessed about like losing weight and like, it's like, oh my God, I'm going to gain an ounce from that. You're putting too much pressure on it and you'll actually cause yourself to gain weight. So it's also just kind of like working towards a goal. And even when your outside world is like, okay, it's like not manifesting like what you want, keep going and going and knowing that as long as you are going towards the right direction and, you know, thinking as positively as you can, even, you know, though the results aren't there right now, that they will show up. They have to. It's like a universal law. It's like a law of energy. It just works that way. So don't let that small self or your thoughts kind of like pull you back. Just keep going, keep going, keep going.
Keep going. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to stop or how many times I thought that I couldn't do it. And I look back now, like 5 years later, after being able to maintain this for years, and I'm just like, what if I never did that? I'm like, my life is exponentially different. So you got to do it. Keep at it. As Lauren said, keep going. Just keep going.
Absolutely. And then the other thing in the present moment to, you know, get you through that breakdown and breakthrough is to just, you know, like we talk about it a lot and it's like, oh, but like really just devote your energy to thinking about positively whatever you want. So whatever, just really visualizing it, because whatever you feed energy to grows. So you cannot like starve just like the candida, you have to starve your fears and feed whatever your faith and whatever you want, your dreams. And then they could manifest in the material world. But if you feed your fears, they grow too.
Yes.
You know, they're weeds and then there's these beautiful plants over here and you are like the life source. So what are you choosing to give life to?
Ooh, good question,
You
Lauren.
know? Yeah. So really think about that. And in every moment, I still do this every day. Like if I'm having like a negative thought, it's like, okay, I'm going to choose to not give life to that. You know, if it's about another person or just a fear I might be having or a judgment I'm having about myself, I'm like, I'm not going to give life to that. And then I follow it up with a positive thought or something like so I'm just feeding more positive things. It's a really, really, really good tool.
Oh, I'm going to use that. That's fantastic.
Oh, hello.
Thank you for
You're
sharing
welcome.
that. I'm not going to feed that.
Yes.
I'm not going to feed into that.
Yes. Ooh.
I can see that making a huge impact.
Yes, definitely. And it's really, really important because it does not matter what your goal is. Even, you know, we're focused on fitness and weight loss with, you know, the company that we have together, but it doesn't matter anything that you want in life. This principle really applies to. And when you apply it to one area of your life, everything else starts to align and get better because everything's interconnected.
Yes, all of it. It's like the holistic approach to things. if you're fixing it in one area, it's going to exponentially make other areas better. And we see that every day with the clients we work with. They're like, they come to us for weight loss and healthier bodies, but they're coming back and they're saying, I'm making more money. Like I'm enjoying my job more. I'm attracting better relationships. Like it's all coming together.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you so much for being here for this special show today. It's very near and dear to our hearts because this is a thing that happens, and we'd love to hear from you. So make sure you comment below and let us know, hey, like, have you ever experienced this? Like, what was that like for you? How can you see yourself moving forward with this, with the tools and the tips that we've given you today?
Yeah, and we're obviously not live right now, but we will be checking it. So
Yes.
Please comment, ask any questions, and we will be right on top of answering them.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys. So make sure you sign up for the Fat Girl Fitness Family Facebook page. It's a private group. Family is spelled with a PH. And we post, a little extra fun stuff in there for healthy minds, healthy bodies. And we would love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our Facebook page, both called Fat Girl Fitness.
Yay!
Thanks for being here. We love you guys, and we hope you have an amazing day.
Mwah.
See ya.
Bye.